Hi, this is Jillian Aversa, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how I created the trailer theme that was used for our Allura Volume 1 sample library. As you can see here, I'm using FL Studio, and I wanted to show how you can use the library even without Kontakt. So first let's play the track all the way through. Definitely a dramatic cue that I think really showcases Jillian's voice nicely. All the phrases here are from one phrase group used in the key of D sharp minor. So let's check out the mix chain that I'm using on her. First, we have some compression that's just sort of evening things out. Then we've got some reverb via Lexicon's Random Hall. And this is sort of giving the main spaciousness to the sound, but then there's also Art's acoustic reverb, which I'm using to give just a little bit of extra shimmer. Then we have a little bit of delay as well. So one thing that I use a few times, and I do this all the time when I'm working with Jill's vocals, is I automate up the delay sometimes at the end of a phrase, which lets it sort of taper off in a nice way. So this way it's ringing out a bit more. There's some volume automation used at a few points to even things out for the purposes of this particular mix. But one of the volume automation things that I do here, I wanted to play this phrase first. You can hear that that is faded out. But then if we go to this phrase, basically, I use that crossfade to transition one to the other without it sounding like they're on top of one another. So obviously, in order to get that to work, a simple crossfade like this works well. And I did it manually, drawing it in like this because this sounded better than a pure linear crossfade. Some of the other elements that support the voice here, we've got a beautiful piano sound, shimmering reverb on this as well, and then some pads. And the pads have a subtle fifth in them, so they sort of blend the sound nicely. But then there are a bunch of Impact Soundworks instruments that I used in addition to Allura. For example, in this part, the transition uses archtop for one thing, for the harmonic mutes. So that's actually just archtop there with some shimmering reverb. In this case, literally Valhalla Shimmer. And then we have that sort of flute-like instrument, which is actually Ventus Bansuri, playing a single note in this pattern. And we're transitioning it to vibrato using this automation here. And then bringing the dynamics down. There's also a nice drop, courtesy of Juggernaut, which is this sound. A lot of the rhythmic elements are coming from Momentum. So this sound here, for example, is the ironing board included in Momentum, which has a whole ton of acoustic pulses and rhythms that are not processed. So we've got some delay on it. And then a bit of reverb to give it a more filtered sound. If we take that off. And here, the Dark Omen Glitchy, this is actually from Reforged. We have some high passing going on. And then towards the end, in the middle section, then towards the end, we have more percussive loops. So this one is also from Momentum. We'll enable these layer by layer. And then we have this Metal March, which is from Reforged. Again, filtered with delay. And then this China cymbal, which is from Momentum. And when you combine that with some other big drums, you get something like this. And the basses that I'm using throughout the piece, for the most part, these are just kind of simple sub basses. Using Trillion. So with just a handful of phrases from Allura, I sculpted this whole cue. I think it sounds really nice, and it came out just the way I wanted it. So I hope this gives you some inspiration on how you can use phrases from the library in your own pieces. Allura Volume 1 is available now for Kontakt and Wave formats combined for just $59. So check that out at impactsoundworks.com. Thanks.